that we're reading. You know, when we're called to kneel, do it with joy. A lot of the saints, and we're being assumed into heaven right now with all of that. So, with a lot of the saints used to scourge themselves, whip themselves when they did wrong. And I'm not asking you guys to do that, but I know I have bad knees from being a catcher all my life, and I kneel there too. So I encourage you guys to enter into that with me. So tonight's topic, though, we're going to talk about sin. So far, we've talked about Jesus, we talked about the Trinity, we talked about Mary, we talked about all these things. But I want to talk to you about sin. And I want to start off with a trailer to a movie clip. And you've seen this movie before. It's a really famous movie, but I'm going to make a point with it. But before we begin, I just want to remind you that Father John over there graciously hear confessions. You just go in, right? We'll open that curtain a little bit. And you can go face to face, or we have a screen set up. You can sit on the side. Just when you close the door, the only way it stays closed is if you just turn kind of the lock. So you're not locked in there. There's another door too. So don't be afraid. You can go in face to face, or there's a curtain. So if you go in, take the candle. That means you're in there. So that there's not a line or anything. Just kind of look back, see if the candle's there. And if it's not, or if it is, go over. All right. So check out this movie trailer, and this is for a purpose. Remember that.
In church, like you just don't belong, or you're not quite connected.
Oh man, watch that again. That's good. All right.
I'm gonna ask MJ to marry me.
It's the ring Uncle Ben gave me. Go on, honey, take it. Make it very special for Mary Jane.
Mary,
You knew this was coming, Pete.
listen to me. I didn't kill your father.
What's with you guys anyway?
It's complicated. Hate those things. The suit. Where'd this come from?
This substance amplifies aggression. Seems to like you.
Looking good, Spidey. I love the new outfit. It's the power. It feels good.
I'm worried about you.
I need your help.
Everybody needs help sometimes, Peter. Even Spider-Man.
You killed me like you killed my father.
What happened to you?
I don't know. But I have to stop it. Parker. I've done terrible things.
I know you'll find a way to put it right.
Hey, Parker. This could be the end of Spider-Man.
We have to forgive each other. For everything we ever were will be nothing.
So I showed that Spider-Man clip because we're talking about sin. And that movie, I love the Spider-Man series, I'll admit it. I love it. And that third one intrigues me so much. Because he's given this choice, that little black goo, okay, for all intents and purposes, we'll call it goo, all right? So that black goo, he starts to feel it and he gets, he gets a little power rush. He's like, oh, this is awesome. I love the way this feels, but I know this is not right. This is not fully okay. This is not good. But he keeps on going back to it. More and more and more. And the people that love him are like, can tell something's different. Here, Mary Jane, who's like, yeah, what have you become? And slowly, he lets this suit take over him. And we can look at it in relation to sin because a lot of times that's what happens with sin. We just start slowly. We'll do a little something. We're like, okay, I'm just going to start gossiping about this person, or I'm going to pickpocket someone's rosary, or I don't know what you pickpocket. You take something, I'm just cheating on one answer on this test. All right, the rest's not that bad. And we slowly compromise until it builds. And it builds and it builds, and we don't even realize that it's taken over us. And we think, what's the big deal? Really, What's the big deal? It's not really, can't hurt that much. Well, Scripture tells us, the Bible tells us, in Romans 6:23 it says this: for the wages of sin is death. For the wages of sin is death. We don't come back from death. Death. Eternal. I come from a large Italian family, and I've had a lot of relatives pass away. But the one that hit me the hardest was my best friend in 4th grade. We did everything together. We rode our bikes, all this stuff. We sat next to each other in class, and one day we got out of baseball practice early. We're like, okay, no big. We'll just go play at one of his houses, So they said, hey, you want to go over Aaron's house? And I was like, this is my other friend. His name's Noel. Just a true story. So me and Noel, we're going to go over Aaron's house. I get home from school, I tell my mom, hey, we're going to go over Aaron's house. We're just going to, just fool around, probably play video games, I don't know, stick stuff up our noses, something. And so she's like, no, we have a family thing tonight, you can't go over there. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? And she's like, yes, I'm serious, I'm not kidding. Okay. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I didn't go over. I didn't hear anything that night. Next day, I go into school. And it's a bad thing when you enter into school and you see just a bunch of people, not your teachers, in the front, and they're all talking like adults. They're like, this is gonna be bad, and they said at a class, we regret to inform you that Noel passed away last night, and everybody was just taken aback, me especially. They knew I was his best friend, so they pulled me out of